My name is Sandy Adomaitis, the social media director for the Page International Screenwriting Awards, and your host for the Writers Hangout, a podcast that celebrates the many stages of writing, from inspiration to the first draft, revising, getting a project made, and everything in between. We'll talk to the best and the brightest in the entertainment industry and create a space where you can hang out, learn from the pros, and have fun. Hey writers, it's Sandy. If you celebrated Thanksgiving, how was your holiday? If not, how was your Thursday? I'm going to be honest, I had a tough week. I hope to share details soon. In tough times, I look to media like everybody else to get my mind off things. Now, what do you think I was watching this week? You're going to say true crime, aren't you? Sorry, this girly, no. I watch apocalyptic films. Love them. Can't get enough of them. They put me in a trance and I'm just fully engaged. And I know what you're thinking. Sandy, that's what movies do. Hello, Walt Disney Online too. But watching the world end and people struggling to survive calms me down. The horrifying scenario of the world ending is a good time for me. It's just how I'm built. Theories on why I feel this way are welcome. You can reach out to me at thewritershangoutpodcast.com. So yesterday or the day before or something, I don't know, it's all haze. I watched After Darkness, and the poster says, After Darkness, Hope Begins at the End of the World. It was written by Fernando Diaz Barroso, and the logline from IMDb is, as the sun burns out, an American family gathers at the end of the world, their hopes for rescue slowly crumbling as they also confront long-lasting divides amongst each other. It stars Tim Daly and Kara Sedgwick. My goodness, Kara, you had the toughest part in the entire movie. Everybody else can play mad, scared, shy, bullies, but you had to play a mom who had serious issues and was drugged and then didn't take the drugs for one day and then had to be a fully functioning cool human being, and you did a great job. That's all I want to say. So Tim Daly and Kara Sedgwick. I'm not a big fan of Tim Daly, and I'm going to tell you why. Tim Daly, you know him from Madam Secretary, The Mindy Project, and Wings. I was working on American Dreams, a television series for the line producer. Writers on TV shows have a showrunner, aka executive producer, who deals with the creative side of everything. The story, the writers. The line producer is in charge of the set and crew. The showrunner and the line producer work hand in hand. That said, things can get weird because the line producer's job is to execute the showrunner's vision, but they answer to the studio, the people with all the money. So they want to give the showrunner their vision, but they also don't want to spend money because the studio doesn't want them to spend money. It's their job to figure out how to do everything without spending money. And your next job is probably you're going to be hired by the studio. So let's follow the money. As we learned in the previous episode, the line producer, their heart belongs with the studio. My personal opinion. Back to the actor, Tim Daly, and we're on the Gower lot. Tim wasn't on the show American Dreams. He was just shooting another show. And I think I've told you guys before, the Gower lot is very small. American Dreams was shooting outdoors with fake snow, and some got on Tim's car. Tim called the office and I picked up the line because we had phones on desks back then. I hear, "This is Tim Daly." Let line producer's name. "No, he is paying for my car to be detailed." And then he hung up. The smugness of the word detailed, I think, got me the most. Not washed, detailed. Your car absolutely deserved to be clean, but you had to talk down to the assistant in that bullying, tough guy voice. I don't know. I would have said 2 days ago I was over it, but given my rant right now, I don't think I am, Tim Daly. Okay, fun fact. Back in the day, cotton was used as snow in the movies, but it was a fire risk. And the LA Fire Department, dun 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 dun, dun instead recommended the use of asbestos, which was considered to be risk-free. So from the 1930s until the 1950s, film studios used white asbestos. Dr. Zhivago, you made it by a hair. Back to my apocalyptic movies. You know, I've read and watched a lot of apocalyptic movies. I read all the books. Dog Star. I feel really guilty about Dog Star because, okay, it was a good book, but I didn't finish it. It's a little old-fashioned for me. But I know someday I'm going to run into Keanu Reeves and I'm going to, be thinking really, oh, quickly, what unique thing can I say to Keanu Reeves? I've already met Keanu Reeves previously. I want to let you know at a big fancy party. But we really didn't talk. So this second meeting, I'm sure we're going to talk. And what would I talk to Keanu Reeves about? I could say, hey, Keanu, is your band Dog Star named after the book? And Keanu, being Keanu, would say, Sandy, that is so wild. Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked me that question. Did you read the book? What did you think that happened at the very end? And I won't have an answer. And I cannot look at Keanu Reeves in his face and bluff. I just can't. I will have to just turn around and walk away. Yep. Okay, so back to apocalyptic movies. Listeners, do you have movies out there that you like? I would love your recommendations. Please reach out to the Writers Hangout podcast at gmail.com or on Instagram. Hey, writers, I started a Facebook page for the Writers Hangout. I'm just wasting my time. Will you follow me on Facebook? I think there's not many followers on there. I like to write longer posts on there and kind of go behind the scenes and kind of open up for suggestions and things, but not a lot of traffic on Facebook. And we're also on Instagram. I think I mentioned that. So please give us a follow. Now, in the previous podcast, I talked about Red One and the anticipation of Wicked and Moana 2 coming out. And I would like to say Moana is setting a 5-day opening and a Thanksgiving record of $220 million. Now, Wicked became the highest grossing movie based on a Broadway musical and will have the third best 5-day take over Thanksgiving at $118 million. And let's not forget about Gladiator 2. Looks like it's going to be seeing $45 million. Now hold the phone. I want to talk about Wicked for a second. Oh, by the way, clap, slow clap. I'm holding my mic. I can't do a slow clap for Moana. I mean, Disney must be so happy this weekend, but good for you. Now, I want to talk about Wicked. Am I the only one that didn't realize till today that the Wicked movie is only part 1? It is the first of 2 parts. It is the first act of the 2003 stage musical. Oh, movie ick. If I took the energy to get myself to an actual theater and I thought I was seeing Wicked and it was only the first act, I would have been furious. I'm furious now, though. You know what? No way am I going to see that movie. No way. This is so Han Solo saying, I know. all over again. I can't go through that all over again. I'm going to wait a year till somebody I know with money invites me to their home screening room and it's an event and I watch Wicked 1 and 2 back to back. Am I the only one who feels this way? All right. Congratulations to the writers of Moana, Jared Bush, Dana Miller, and Beck Smith. Now, let's go into December with some good news for screenwriters. Amazon MGM bought a spec script for roughly $2 million. That is great. Everybody says the spec market is dead till the spec market pays $2 million for a script. It was written by Julia Cox, and I'm going to read an article about this from Deadline Hollywood by Mike Fleming Jr. Exclusive. Amazon MGM just won a battle for the love of your life. A spec by Naiad scribe Julia Cox. Okay, I'm interrupting. I'm going to break that down to you. Amazon MGM? What are you talking about? Okay, in the spring of 2022, Amazon purchased MGM for, I think, $8.5 billion with a B dollars. Now, MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, was founded in 1924, and it will bring Amazon a catalog of more than 4,000 movies, 17,000 TV shows, including James Bond, Pink Panther, and the Rocky movie franchise. So if there's going to be any other Rocky movies, it'll be on Amazon Prime. So the studios and production companies were all vying to buy the rights to Love of Your Life, written by Julia Cox, and her big calling card is her script, Naiad. Going back to the Deadline article, Love of Your Life has been the talk of the town, and sources said the result is one of the biggest spec script deals in recent memory, landing in the $2 million range. Ryan Gosling is attached to produce with a new producing partner, Jesse Henderson at General Admissions. Writers, what do they mean by biggest spec script? You can write for hire or you can write on spec. Speculation. A spec script, also known as a speculative script, spec script, is a unsolicited and non-commissioned screenplay. It is typically written by a screenwriter hoping to have the script option and ultimately purchased by a producer, production company, or studio, which is exactly what happened here. Back to Deadline. Numerous bids were proffered when CAA dropped the spec on the town, and one of the most intriguing bids came from Taylor Sheridan and Temple Hill's Marty Bowen, who are ready to pay $2 million with a green light and a theatrical release. Okay, so $2 million with a green light, meaning no matter what, they promise that the movie will get made, and usually heavy penalties if the movie isn't made. And they're not just going to stream it. They promise a theatrical release. CAA is Creative Arts Agency. Now, that's a very powerful agency with clients like Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Zendaya, Ava DuVernay, Ryan Murphy, and Reese Witherspoon. Taylor Sheridan is Yellowstone. Marty Bowen is the Twilight series. Those are heavy hitters. I'm just thinking Taylor Sheridan, he's got a rep in this town. Allegedly, I've never worked with the man. It's all allegedly. He's very, very, very tough on the crew, and he's a writer, and he's not a writer with a lot of shared credits. I can be wrong on that. I don't know. I, as a writer, might be worried that he could be a 600-pound gorilla and I could lose my vision. But you got to look at his talent also and say, man, his talent, my talent, that's going to be something. And the Twilight series, successful. That is a successful series. Okay, skipping ahead in the article, the script got several studios and streamers hot and bothered. Sydney Sweeney, who has fast become a go-to actress in her age range, has been discussed all day as a strong choice, though sources said she is not formally attached at all. Sydney from Euphoria, she really is the it girl right now. And by the way, writers, if you are ever in a meeting with a talent agency, you can be pitching a story to them and they'll say, hey, this will be a great role for Sarah Jessica Parker. We rep her. We can get her for this. I always felt so creepy to me when they said that, like actors don't have a mind, taste, or say so in what they do. Maybe, unfortunately, in the beginning, they don't. Back to the article. Cox's big credit is Naiad, the drama about distance swimmer Diane Naiad realizing her simply impossible dream at 60 to swim 110 miles from Cuba to Florida. That makes me think of the Jason Miller joke. My father went to World War II, came home, got married, had 3 kids, and bought a house by the time he was 28 years old. If I go to the bank and the dry cleaners in the same day, I'm exhausted. Look up Jason Miller. I did him no justice there. The film, Naiad, got Oscar nominations for Annette Bening and Jodie Foster. Cox was nominated for a 2024 WGA award for adapting Naiad's memoir, Find a Way. She has also landed 2 scripts on the blacklist, Do Not Harm and The Takeaway. And the article ends with, this spec is another strong actress vehicle, drawing comparisons to Eat, Pray, Love. Shout out to fellow Waterburyan native Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love. And the movie is about her taking a journey so that she can regain her footing and find a reason to carry forward. I'm going to watch that.
And that's a wrap for the Writers Hangout. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Your positive feedback will help us keep the show going so we can continue bringing you more future episodes. Remember, keep writing. The world needs your stories. The Writers Hangout is sponsored by the Page International Screenwriting Awards with executive producer Kristin Overn, producers Sandy Adomaitis, and myself, Terry Sampson. And our music is composed by Ethan Stoller.